We live. I just got to check.
Shalom. Let us start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BaHaSham, Rawchaa, BaHaSham, Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, GreatMillStone. And shalom to like up there, those who are faithful, labor, love, and true sincerity. The Hebrew Israelites coming week in and week out, prophesy the downfall and destruction, of America. Isaiah 13.
This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift thee up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Right, so when we come out here on the highways and byways, we're telling you of the burden that we see, man. The Lord gave us as individuals within His truth a burden that we have to bear and a burden that we see, man. And that's the plagues and that's the destruction that's coming to this place of America. And that's the more so of the downfall of our people, man. So where Esau is trying to make our people completely extinct, man.
Verse 2, lift thee up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Right, and that's why it's important to come out to where the people is at. Come out on the highways and byways. Because ain't nobody trying to really go up in churches and hear what they got to say, because it's the same fluff every single day, man. We come out here in real time letting you know what's actually going on according to the news, according to the prophecies of the scriptures, according to the promises that the Lord gave to our people, so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. And in church, what are they really giving you? They're not telling you anything about current events. I'm sure a lot of the churches are confused on what to do about, the mandates that's being placed out here nowadays. We letting you know what you should do, man. Okay?
It says, I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Right, and that's the Lord's angels that's going to come down in due time, when World War III is getting ready to kick off, man. That's the Lord's mighty ones, go ahead.
It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
So what does that sound like? You got the kingdoms of the nations coming together, man. It said what the Lord of hosts mustereth the battle. So the Lord is telling you that the Lord is going to make the Third World War commence, man. That's why you think all these different nations, they're fighting over power, man. At certain times, you're going to hear news that's broad out there, but then a lot of times, things that's going on is silent. They doing backdoor deals, backdoor operations, trying to cut one another out, take over another one's land, and that's mainly America, man. Because America is the most powerful nation upon the face of the earth. That's really getting in everybody's business, which is going to cause most of the stuff, man.
Joel chapter 3 verse 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And it's just like the brother was saying, America and their deeds, all right, they're pissing all these other nations off, and it's causing them to say, hey, you know what? Instead of building up our agriculture and doing things that we want to do, hey, let's put this money towards our military, our nuclear defense, you know, because they know what time and season that it is, you know, and the Lord is putting the spirit upon these other nations to do this. So it says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, where I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's how we know that's that hotbed, that hot zone, all right, which is in the Middle East, you know, where you got Syria, Iran, Iraq. That whole area is the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is the valley of decision, the valley of judgment. Okay? One more verse. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down. The press is full. The fat overflow, for their wickedness is great. One more. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. So that's where the Lord's judgment is going to take place. Right? So back in Isaiah 13 and 4 again, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdom of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Right, so what is that talking about? That's getting into what? Thermonuclear destruction that's to come upon here, man. These nations, the Lord not having these nations build and create all these nukes just to keep them still. They're meant to be used. Hence why they make guns nowadays. Why? Because they're meant to be used. And what they technically meant to be used, what, in the case of self-defense, you know. But what, America is so much on the offensive with so much other shit, the other nations gonna be forced, man. The hell with America? Blast off on them, man. Yeah.
This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Behold, I have created a smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy.
Yeah, that's the nukes, man. So the Lord put it upon these scientists' minds to create these type of things, man. All to destroy their own societies, their own nations, man. This is what we talk about when how the Lord is pretty much putting them in the trick bag, so to speak, man. The Lord is allowing them to build up their kingdoms, build up their wealth, build up their infrastructure, only to destroy themselves, man. So that what? We can come back into our rightful place, man. Because what? In order for our kingdom to build up, this evil working world has to be destroyed, man. You know, that's why Proverbs 29 and 2, you know?
Verse 6, Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another, their faces shall be as flames.
Right, and what? Because the average, when you go to war, why do you think people come back so messed up? Because typically you can't handle all of that death and destruction, bombs going off, guns being shot off, so on and so forth, man. That's a very traumatic experience going to war, man. That's why what? In the Apocrypha, the Lord said that's one of the things that he hates. I believe it's like the 28th chapter, how the Lord hate what a man of war, basically, that's not taken care of, man. You know? Because if you go through that great lengths of going to war, you should be taken care of, man. Hence why when we went to war, you know, back in the old days, what? The scriptures, you know, the men and women, they were put off to a distinct place, and the men went off to war and handled the business. Because what? They didn't have no business men in that, man. But what America does, they bring wars to places where you have women and children, man, and killing them. Pop bombs and saying, oh yeah, we mistakenly did this and did that.
Yeah, collateral damage.
Yeah, collateral damage. Those are human beings, but that's a so-called white man for you, because he don't care about being decent whatsoever, man. You know, they not really built for that old war going head up and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
They know that'd be destroyed, man.
Yeah, I'll read it. Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So it's messy out there, you know. And if you're able, and if you're fortunate enough to come out of that madness and confusion alive, you know, you're gonna be messed up mentally, man, behind that. So you should be taken care of, you know. And that also proves, like the brother's getting into. All right, that's a man's role, you know, to go through it. But I'll finish the scripture. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So the war to come is going to be with those thermonuclear destruction. Tying that in again, going back to those movies. Okay. So it says, Isaiah 13 and 9. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
Right, so that's letting you know how bad this Third World War is going to get, man. For you to not, what we always mention it in 300 with the little dudes, they said, well, our arrows will blot out the sun, man. That's how much smoke and death and destruction is going to be all over the place. You're not going to be able to tell the night from the day with shit constantly going off, man. That's how bad it's going to be, man. Think about that. Who is really prepared for a situation like that? The modern average day person walking up and down the street, they're not prepared for nothing like that. They're not even thinking that America can get his ass busted by another nation like that, man. That's how the Lord is coming back as a thief in the night, because people really believe that America can never be touched, man.
Isaiah chapter 31 verse 1. Woe unto them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots that army. You know, that's why when we read Joel 3rd chapter, it's talking about let the weak say that I'm strong, but Americans, all right, modern day Babylonians, they think that these other nations are weak or just pushovers, man. These people are determined, all right? They train harder. They're more, they got that spirit on them, all right, to give America ultimately what they got coming to them, man.
Yeah, because, you know, getting into that, like you said, China, they on like 6G or some shit now?
Yeah.
I mean, China on fucking 6G now, way ahead of America. They own most of America's goddamn debt. Russia got more nuclear weapons than America does. So that shows you that these other nations, they not playing, man. But it's the Lord that's building them up all for the battle of that great day, for their destruction, man. Because China and Russia, they really think that they up next, man. But they not. The Lord got a sword of destruction coming for you, just how he got these main Edomites, man.
All right, so back in Isaiah chapter 13.
Hey, real quick, just to add on, you know, basically you got China prepared for war over Taiwan.
Taiwan,
and,
yeah.
you know, and they saying that America is helping Taiwan, and China threatened them and said, if y'all don't get out of here, it's going to be starting World War III.
Yeah.
World War III.
Hey, I didn't know that. That's the third. Because, you know, even when you used to get the toys and stuff, sometimes they'd say made in China, but sometimes I remember seeing Taiwan on the toys or certain things like that. Yeah, so that lets you know that that's a property of theirs, man. That's America's problem, and that's why they're getting into so much shit. They can't mind their goddamn business, man.
No, that's okay.
Back in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 11. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
And what's all of their wickedness? That's the witchcraft and everything in which they go about, you know, to gain their riches, man. And because all these nations, they really in bed with each other, but at the same time doing shit behind each other's back, man. And trying to get one up on them. That's some wicked shit, man. How can you be in business with this person, but yet still trying to go behind their back to do? That's like all of us getting the business, but yet you creeping trying to do this. You creep, like, what's really the point in the first place to come together? You're really just trying to get intel on him, so that I can get up one on both of them, and now I can make them my subordinates, man. You know, that's why the scripture say, what the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy. That's all the so-called white man does. So if they making these type of peace treaties, it's only to set up things in their best interest, man, and not know nobody else, man. When we was in rulership under King Solomon, even though we was at the top, but what, we still knew how to delegate things and how to deal properly so that everybody could be satisfied but still know who the top dog is, man. You know what I'm saying?
It says, verse 12, and I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
And stuff like that is happening now, even though it's happening in increments. That's why we talk about the so-called high-value man thing and different things like this. It's all just about the man's image being put back to where it's supposed to be, man. We already out here on the highways and byways doing the spiritual work. So in the worldly sense, the Lord got to put that image of the man back to where it's supposed to be also. So we see that coming back into fruition every single day, man. You know, and the more that men get platforms and to speak truth and for things to come out, women are really going to have to bow down to that because it's going to be no other way, man. You know?
Verse 13, therefore I will shake the heavens and the earth shall therefore I will shake the heavens and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts and in the day of his fierce anger.
Right, so that's letting you know that the nukes is going to do so much damage that it's going to shake the whole earth, man. I'll grab that Isaiah 24, 5.
This is Joel chapter 2 and 1. You can stop at any time. It says, blow ye a trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in the holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahawah cometh, but it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like.
Hey, so what it say, like, as the morning spread upon the mountains, talking about what the morning dew. So when the morning dew is up there, you can't even tell the depths or anything of the mountains because it's so damn thick up there. So the Lord will tell you, like, that's how this battle was going to be, man. That's something to be fearful of, man. But once again, people not thinking in this realm because if you did, what? You'll be trying to prepare yourself for these times at hand, you know?
It says, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burning.
Right, so what it gets into what second is that what we're headed to a time that the world has never seen before. So let you know that all the other World War I, World War II, any other the ancient battles, that has nothing compared to the devastation that the Lord is about to bring upon the world, man. Because back then we were just on the eastern side of the world. Now it's going to come past the whole entire world, the eastern and western together, man. You can't get around that, man.
It says, a fire devoured before them, and behold, and behind them a fire burning. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and before them a desolate wilderness, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them.
Right, so it said what? That the earth shall be what? As the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden was pretty much bare. It was just, grass, greenery, and all that. That's how bad, because the soils of the streets is going to get turned upside down, man. The streets and the earth is going to be broken up, man. You're not going to recognize it as a place in which you once knew, man. It's going to look like a foreign land to you, man. Well, we know America's going to be completely destroyed, but the other nations, they going to look somewhat different, man, you know?
Especially this place called America. It's going to get wiped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, can I elaborate on that? Revelation 18 and 2, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, meaning like those reptile creatures and things like that. And the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So like a good movie to visualize the scriptures that come in would be like Mad Max. Mad Max, where everything was a desert. The only thing that you saw creeping around was scorpions other reptiles and different crows and buzzards and things like that. That's how America's going to look.
This is Joel 2 and 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of a fire that devoureth the stubble.
Exactly, because what? How the missiles are going to be shot. They're going to be shot synchronized, man. So it's given a description that the noose is going to be marching like horsemen, man. You know, dressed in battle array and all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's how they're going to be marching. And they synchronize to where they're going to hit their target, man. And it's specific to a specific target. And they talk about like what? Like it coming out of the mountains and stuff, because these things have to be placed in an area, you know, that's not common to most people, man. You can't have a bunch of nukes and stuff built up, you know what I'm saying, near a common city. You gotta have it in a remote location. So what, a place like Russia, a place that have a mountainous region, you would more so have bunkers and stuff underground to where those silos and stuff are gonna be coming out of, man. And you're gonna have them all lined up in a row, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, my man, what's the purpose of that?
And also leaping over the walls too. When the nukes shoot up, they shoot out into the firmament, you know, and they shoot out of the stratosphere. And what? Those walls are those defense systems, like those SARS, like what do you call it? I forget the name of it, but it's a missile defense program where if it spots a missile incoming, it'll shoot it. These missiles, they shoot so high they come down, it's like they leap over the walls, you know, for defense.
Yeah, the ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, you know, they shot from one continent to another. And another thing too, the Lord is going to put his anger in those ICBMs, man, because those intercontinental ballistic missiles, those are the Lord's missiles, man. He made the smith to blow up the coal. Made the smith to blow up the coal in the fire. All right? He created the smith, man. So he created these men so that they can create the Lord's weapons for him. It says, like the noise of a chariot on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire they devour the stubble. As a strong people set in battle array. It says, before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks.
So that's what it's about, them not breaking their ranks. They're going to stay directly on a specific target. So not like a regular arrow. If you're shooting a bunch of arrows in the sky at the same time, some of them might mess around and hit each other. You know what I'm saying? But these are specifically targeted to hit their target without them exploding and messing up, you know, the whole formation of everything, man. And how it said, like leaping the walls, basically leaping the walls, meaning what? Entering into the cities, man. You know, because back in the ancient times, where cities were usually built and you had walls to protect it. So it's talking about it hitting the individual cities, man. Not just wherever the army troops at, because in ancient times, like I said, you would be away from the cities in a distinct place so that the rest of the cities is not torn down. You don't have to worry about the women and children, but this is actually going to affect every single living person here, man.
It says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Hey, that's heavy, because even when Esau goes to try to shoot those missiles down, guess what? The Lord's going to protect them. So them ICBMs is going to hit their targets, man, because the Lord's going to put a spirit into it, man. That's deep, man.
Moonwalking like a J, man.
Hey, precept. 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. And this scripture is going to prove that it's not talking about arrows. It's talking about ICBM nuclear missiles, right? And shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So what arrow can you shoot from the ends of the world? All right, it's impossible. Only that ICBM nuclear technology it has the capabilities of shooting a rocket 2 continents over.
Yeah,
from one side
to the other.
one continent to the other. You know.
And Russia, they're perfecting it to make it more faster. You know, they're perfecting the speed of it so that it can basically get there quicker, man. You got shit called hypersonic missiles and shit like that. You got all of these different instruments of swords to basically to lay land desolate, man. And the Lord is going to use these things to destroy the wicked. You know?
And people are carnal because when we say 200 million missiles, and they'll go online and they'll look at the number of nukes on the planet, and they'll be like, well, it's nowhere near 200 missiles. Brother, getting into the technology of the missiles and the warhead alone, you have something called the Sacred 2, which breaks off, I believe, the missile tip. One missile counts for about 15 missiles.
Yeah,
right there.
so one body of an ICBM, all right, breaks up in the heavens, and it's the nuclear warheads, and it could be about 10, 12, whatever how many warheads would be inside of it, man. And that's what destroys. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all you gotta do is research. I believe that when the nuclear missiles explode, they explode from the heavens. They don't touch the ground. So it's a great fire from above that comes down.
Got a precept. This is Revelations 9 and 18. By these 3 was the third part of men killed by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt.
Yeah, so that's the warheads, how the brother was getting into it. Because technically they called MIRVs, multiple independently re-entry vehicles. You know what I'm saying? So each of them is letting you know that the base of it is a vehicle that's carrying the individual warheads, man, to get to its destination, man. That's something like, so you can have one missile that can hit 7 different points based off of the warhead that it has, man. You know what I'm saying? Because look at it. This looks like a bullet when you look at it. This is the shell, and then the top is the warhead. So when it gets to a certain point, the warheads is going to come out, and they're going to all hit specific targets, man. You know? That's all it is. This is the modern day. Motherfuckers talk about hollow point shells. This is a hollow point for your ass, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I believe when John the Revelator, the disciples, he had the vision, and he called them horses. And the horse represents the power. When you look at that, you can't. They didn't have the vocabulary to say, oh, well, that's an ICBM nuclear missile, and write it in the Bible. All they could say was horses. Things like serpents, because when it shoots up out of the silo, it gives that tail, and like they described it the best way that they could.
And then when you think about like what you riding on a horse, you can feel the power of the horse and how much dust and dirt that the horses is kicking back. That's the same thing that the missiles are going to kick back all of the dust, the dirt, turn the whole soil up. Real quick, this is Jeremiah 25 and 31. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord have a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, said the Lord. Verse 35. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee, nor the principal of the flock to escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and the howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard. For the Lord hath spoiled their pasture, and the peaceable habitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of the Lord. So that's what getting into how I said what the peaceable habitations, that's usually what with the city, man. But the World War III is not going to be limited to a specific area how they used to do in ancient times. You're not going to be able to get around bloodshed being in every single city of America in complete chaos. Because what, people not going to know what to do, man. You know?
Yeah, I got to finish it up. Verse 9, Joel 2 and 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter into the window like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark. And the stars shall withdraw their shining. And Yahawah shall utter his voice before his army. And his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of Yahawah is great, and very terrible. And who can abide it?
Right, so you not only have the nations gathering their troops together, their tanks, their this, their that, but you also have the top army, which is the Lord's army, man. You know, the angels and our big brother Yahawashi, that's going to flood the sky alone, man. That's going to add another layer of darkness unto the skies, man. The missiles is already going to lay one layer. The Lord coming to lay the thick, thick layer of this, where you're really not going to be able to see nothing. Especially when they zapping shit down out the sky, the fighter jets and all of that, man. Even the sky itself is going to be dark from all of that, man.
Yeah, it says, Revelations chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. And notice it said clouds with an S. So it says, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall well because of him, even so to walk.
And those clouds, we're talking about what is the chariots that we were just talking about. Because of the shape of them, are the shape of clouds, man. Like how we were talking about lenticular clouds. You know what I'm saying? Because the lenticular, it comes from like the word lentil. You look at how a lentil is shaped. It's shaped like a little baby flying saucer. That's why they call them lenticular clouds, man. You know?
So back in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 13, therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall move out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as a chased roe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land.
Right, so because of everything that's going on, and people seeing, you know, the destruction and the wars that's going to be happening in America, all people that not really from here, they want to go back to their country. Why? Because everybody knows America is what the place to make money at, man. Make your money here, but you go back and retire to your home or somewhere else more luxurious than that, man. To where you can really make your money go far. I was looking at something the other day, I forgot what the place was, but somehow pretty much like off of like, what was it, like I think it was like 200,000 or something. One of them countries over there in Asia, I forgot which country, and you can retire basically off of that, man. But here in America, 200,000, depending on like the bills and things you got going on, that might only last you, I mean, a good 7 to 10 years, maybe, depending on your spending, and depending upon what the rate of inflation, so on and so forth, man. You know?
Yeah, I know because of the economy, I was doing a video comparing Babylon the Great America to ancient Rome, and a big cause of Babylon, of ancient Rome's demise was their failing economy, and one of the things that was happening over there was the real rich elites of ancient Rome were leaving and fleeing the area because of the hyperinflation in the economy. Same thing that's happening here. If you're likely to be rich, and in Babylon the Great, you own businesses, maybe you have set your shares in real estate and things like that. I just said, hit up the chat, the price of lumber increased by 50%, okay, due to hyperinflation, along with other things. The price of gas is increasing, and it costs more to do business. So the rich people that have business have no interest or ties to stay in America whatsoever. So they're out of here, you know, and that's bringing and tumbling down, because what this economy is based off of trickle down economics. You know, the rich and the shit rolls downhill. But if everybody's jumping ship, then where's all that money going? They're taking it to other countries.
Hey, real quick, the Lord got to destroy these niggas, man. We're standing here in camp, but across from us, we got, I don't know if these bums, fiends, or whatever, but it look like they're lighting the shit on fire. And it looked like this building was already on fire a minute ago. And it looked like they're starting the shit. They got fire up there on top of the roof, and they're putting something inside of the shit. It's crazy, man. That's how you know. And the shit, you see smoke now. I don't know what they burning up there, man.
But yeah, like touching on that death and destruction all around it.
That's cool.
I'm saying? But,
Structure.
yeah, exactly. I mean, but yeah, getting on like that housing thing, like how he was talking about. I was watching this real estate guy. He was saying like the other day, he real popular out in Philly or whatever. He was saying like now it's not the time to be having a mortgage. Like if you got a bunch of properties and stuff, you know, that you got some type of debt on, you need to be doing something to try to get rid of them or do something. You know what I'm saying? Just because of the way that things is going, man. For a lot of people, you know, because for a lot of people in America, they really made their riches and stuff off of real estate. But what in any economic crash, you know, you really asked out, and especially where people can't afford to pay rent, so on and so forth. Like, what you really going to do, man? People is buying a lot of they call, you know, OPP, other people's property, other
Distress.
OPM, other people's money. They're using the system as credit to buy all of these assets, but then you wind up in $1 million of debt. But what happens when shit really hit the fan, or you don't want to take this, or don't want to deal with this man that they got coming down the pipeline? Now you putting yourself in a situation to where you're, as far as your economic status, you're more than likely going to want to give in just because of your riches that you have, man. I seen it last week. This rich guy I be watching on YouTube or whatever, talking all this about the jab and all of that. But then because he got season tickets to the Pistons game, which cost him, which cost him over $40,000. Because of that, he was willing to compromise himself to go and get it, man. And he claims himself to be a so-called Christian, and his foundation is built off of that, man. So that lets you know that people that have money within the society, you're going to buckle, man, because you don't want to get rid of that luxurious life that you have. But America is falling, man, and you can't deny that shit.
So back in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15, every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Right, everyone that is joined unto America, the philosophies of America, you know, you want to love your enemy, all of that, you want to fall right along with them, man. We put our trust in the Heavenly Father, Yahawah and the Son, Yahawashi. We put our trust in the words that they've written and left to us as records for us to come back to who we are and to get through the perils of these times. This is the only thing that's a sure thing. Go to that. Peter 2 and 19 and 20. I forget first.
We have a more sure word of prophecy.
Second. You know what I'm saying? We have more of a sure word of prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the only thing that's for sure. How we going to live tomorrow ain't for sure. Whether you may have your job or not tomorrow ain't for sure. Nothing is certain here in America except for the prophecies of Yahawah and Yahawashi.
Yeah, this is Luke chapter 9, verse 25. For what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? Because the brother was going into, you know, those who are living for this world. You know, you're living for this society which is crumbling. So I read it again, Luke 9 and 25. For what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? You know, so here you're gaining the whole world, you know, you think it's time to come up, you know, but guess what? It's really time to lose, you know, and you're gonna lose, and if you lose, you know, basically, you got people that's caught in the world, when they lose, they're gonna lose themselves too, because they're gonna freak out, man.
It's like we were talking about, you know, before camp started, about when Facebook and Instagram went down for them 6 hours. People don't know what the hell to do with themselves, man. You know, because for a lot of people, you know, and especially if you got business, a lot of people deal with their business on these social platforms. Those are 2 top platforms when it comes to people doing business. That and those 2, YouTube and then TikTok. So if those things go out of commission, a lot of people's business, they out of commission and they really can't make money like that. And that's how they generate their income.
There was one guy from, he said it could be the reason why they shut it down. A couple of reasons, because of the Facebook scandal, selling children. That could be the exposures, the videos we showing me, the exposure of the CDC. Also, because YouTube is being sued by hundreds of people, and I believe it's in Ohio that they can't pay these YouTubers, they can't pay those people, they can't pay the money out to those people who are, have that career of being a YouTuber, an Instagrammer, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's a couple of reasons, to speculate on, Or they can just deregulate the system to cut it off for good.
So here's the scripture the brother wanted. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 19. We also have a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts.
Exactly. So, these scriptures, you got the TV show Guiding Light. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures and the prophecies that we understand and know that are to come to truth. These are our guiding light in this valley of the shadow of darkness, which is America, man. He said, what? Until that day dawn and day star arise, that day star that Yahawah. So until he comes back, we have the scriptures to keep us through. Because when he come back, we know he good. You know what I'm saying?
Back in Isaiah chapter 13, verse 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
And that shows the Lord's cruelty, man. Because for all of your wicked deeds, the Heavenly Father is going to be very terrible, man. It's going to be very terrible. Hear what the Lord just said, man? He said your children is going to be dashed to pieces before their eyes, man. So you're seeing your loved ones being burnt or destroyed, man. That's grievous, man. That's very grievous, man. So that's how the Lord is coming. The Lord is coming with terrible power, man. He's going to destroy you 2/3, man.
Isaiah 13 and 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished.
Right, so who wants to really imagine a scenario like that happen? But, every single day, people are getting, women are getting raped. You know what I'm saying?
It's like it. My brother did a video, put a video clip up. I think it was TikTok or Instagram. And the woman, she was vexed. She started screaming, because she lost her son during a car crash. So it's like a split screen. You see her, and then in the car screaming, breathing, because she lost her son, and then you see her son next to her in the other picture. And she was vexed. That cry of a woman, even though watching the video and you know what it is, it just that cry that she had, it just go through you, man. It make you feel chills like, yo, Lord, they praying, bro. So, man, you gotta feel Yahawashi outside.
Because it was years ago, I don't know, probably 20 years, like 20 years ago now, something like that, close to it. There's this lady, that worked down here, at City Hall or whatever, and she was well known amongst, around there and all that like that. And she had 3 sons, and all her 3 sons got killed to violence here in York. And that shit drove her ass crazy. And now you can see her walking up and down around here in the streets of North. Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit gave, I forgot what they call that shit, PTSD or something from that shit. But ever since then, like, that made her crazy. So imagine how it's gonna be for the average person to see your son or daughter to get killed in front of him. Or to see, somebody you love getting taken by the troops or getting raped. Because we can't use the words, raped. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that, man.
Yeah, military coming, it's more likely lawlessness. You see military shooting, and a woman screaming, telling them my kids are in there. He just sprayed the whole shit up. That's grievous, man.
And you got right now, with people, because people is not getting their kids jabbed up, they have something called medical kidnapping, where they could take your kid because they feel like you being an unfit parent and not jabbing your kid up.
That happened. I forgot where it was. Where that Edomite lady, she was going to try to get custody back for a child, but the judge told her that she had to be jabbed in order to get her child back.
They had a child. They had a child in the hospital, right? Newborn.
Oh, I think that one was in Florida, I think, right?
I think so. A woman had a newborn, but she couldn't take her child because he wasn't, jabbed up. Yeah, see something like that.
That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people not going to be able to, the things that's coming, people's not going to be able to stomach that, man. You know? But like we was getting into, a lot of those other nations, they're getting ready to prepare to go back into their country. A lot of them have went already. You know what I'm saying? But real quick, let me read this. So Revelations 18 and verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, the great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So that's straight to the point, man. America was set up, as we know, as a corporation. So this is all the other nations' cash cow, as we always say. So if they see this place getting torn and trashed, they feel like, yo, everything is over. I gotta go back to, if I haven't accumulated no wealth, I gotta be back in my shitty ass country and how I'm gonna really live how I should live, or how I feel I should live, man.
And they know it's gonna be worse for them over there because their country gets rich off of America.
Right. Right.
That's why they're gonna mourn when they see the smoke burning in this place. The other nations hate this place, but when they see it going, they're gonna cry too. Knowing that all these people died from that devastation of nuclear missiles, man.
Yeah, like the countries, they love America in the aspect of being able to get rich off of America, but everything that America stands for, especially the so-called white man being at the head of the leadership, they hate. You know what I'm saying?
Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children.
Right, so it's no pity when that time comes, because that's the type of spirit that the Lord is going to have upon these shoulders. And especially with Esau, with all of this engineering and things they're doing and trying to create super soldiers, so on and so forth, they're trying to create people to the point to where, you're Terminators, man. This is what these movies and things is made about. They want to create Terminators out of human beings, man, so that you have no remorse, you just act strictly off of command. Because any decent person, won't be able to stomach a lot of the things that's going to come to pass, man.
Yeah, I was watching that movie Gemini, man, and with Will Smith, and you had the one he kind of had, he still had his feelings in check. The one Will Smith was basically battling against himself. But there was another one, a younger one that they were bringing up, and he had no feelings, no remorse. He didn't feel pain. He didn't feel nothing. He was a clone of a clone, and that's what this devil is trying to create. Soldiers that follow orders, don't think twice, don't think anything moral or anything wrong what they're doing. Terminators, like the brother said. I got a scripture. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 67. Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle, with things offered unto idols. And they that consent, unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like mad men sparing none. Armies. Mad men sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So that's that burning wrath of the great multitude. Those UN troops, those Gerber troops, know, coming in and bringing all types of hell. That's what's known as Jacob's trouble in Jeremiah 30th chapter.
And then, I said, well, when you being idle, but being offered the things of what? So I can do that part again?
Yep. Second Ezra, chapter 16, verse 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols.
Right, so there's all this stuff that's leading up to. You know, they making the conditioning known with this, with, you know, the jab and the things that are to come after that, which is ultimately what? The mark of the beast, man. Esau is gearing all of this stuff up for total domination and total control, man. Because when you don't have a soul, when you don't have compassion, this is the evil that you lead up to doing. Because what? You don't know, Esau spiritually can't get right, man. So it's in him to be the way he is, and the Lord set him up to be this way, man. Because he's the vessel that's fit for destruction, man. And we are the vessels for good, man. You know, for righteousness.
Right. Isaiah 13 and 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
That's talking about Russia. You know, because where the Medes was, that's the land in which Russia occupied.
It says, their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
So what? That's letting you know. That's letting you know that what? America is going to be as Sodom and Gomorrah. So even the average churchgoer knows that what this current world now got to end in fire. So by what type of fire? Where's that fire going to come from? Those nuclear missiles, man. That's the fire that the Lord is bringing out of the skies from the missiles, man. You know, he said what? Babylon, the glory of the Chaldees, man. America, the glory of what? The Illuminati, man. The elites, the big banking families that run the world, man. The ones that stole our identity trying to be us, man. You know, to have their time in the sun, so to speak, man. You know?
This is Amos chapter 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of Yahawah are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, save it, that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob. For lo, I will command, and I will shift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is shifted in a sheaf. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. But the point is, the Lord said, his eyes, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. He says, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. The greatest sinful kingdom is Babylon, America. And like a brother getting into, how this place is going to be destroyed? By fire. What type of fire? It's not by the sun. It's going to be by the ICBMs, man. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. You know?
Isaiah 13 and 20. It shall never be inhabited. Going to show that's not talking about ancient Babylon. You know? It says, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in the generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures. Going back into those fowls.
Desert creatures that be in the desert, that's, you know, that you don't commonly see. You know what I'm saying?
And owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged.
So the Lord is not prolonged. The Lord is not going to extend his kingdom. He's not going to give it an extra second. When the time is fit, it's going to be destroyed. all praises to Yahawah, Rawchaa, man. May it come sooner. Because hell is going to break loose, man. You know, you're going to have to make choices that's going to change your life. And the choices that you make, you know, let it be based off the scriptures, man. And like I said, you know, yesterday, technically, you really not making your own choice. That's the way of the Lord, man.
Real quick, it's Songs of Three Holy Children, 1 and 9, is showing, you know, how, you know, got to be talking about America. And thou didst deliver us into the hand of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. So that's like, you know, that what America is the worst place upon the face of the earth, man, that the world has ever seen. You know, and why? Because you're dealing with the person that's the lowest among the heathen, man. The so-called white man who really has no morals, no scruples, no nothing, man. They will do anything to keep their power intact at any means, man. Because they don't live by a set code, man. You know, they just go off of only the wicked inventions that's installed within their mind. You know, what was said about the they cannot rest unless they go to California or something like that. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Because what? It's just in them. It's just in them to constantly do some wicked shit, man. How can you not rest unless you do something wicked? I remember watching the Fat Joe interview one day. He was saying, like, if somebody tried to play him or somebody did something disrespectful on him and he couldn't do nothing about it, or at the time of something, he said he would literally get red and feel like he would get highs because he want to react so bad on that person. That's how Esau is pretty much when it comes to doing wickedness every single day, man. You know? It's like they won't know what to do with themselves unless they commit some atrocious acts, man.
This is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall.
Exactly. Psalms 58 and 3. Look at Romans 9. You know what I'm saying? This is how it is. We were made, you know, in the image of the Most High. They were made in the image of Satan, man. You gotta have the two opposing forces. That's why it says in the Apocrypha, see all of the works of the Most High and how they're 2 and 2. You know, one has to be amongst another because that brings balance upon the earth, man. You know?
Right. Psalm 58:2. Yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Exactly. They weigh the wickedness in their hands, man. The balance is in their hands, man. You know? Every single which way you want to put it, whether it comes to physically, you know, killing us off with paperwork, contracts, stuff they put in the food, the water supply, what they allow to come through, all of that, man. America, when you look at all those other countries, a lot of the ingredients that you'll see like on a cereal box or certain things, the other countries, they don't allow that shit, man. They don't allow a lot of the preservatives and a lot of chemicals to be in the foods and different things like that, how America does, man. I forgot it was a big ass list. It was like, I think like over like 50 to 100 different things that the other countries don't allow that America does allow, man.
In Europe, they didn't allow GMOs.
Yeah, even with the milk, you know, regular cow's milk or whatever, it's a certain percentage of cow pus and feces that they allow to go through, and it's still considered clean, man. Like, that's some bullshit,
Right,
man.
organic.
They'll systematically push people towards GMOs because, case in point, with hyperinflation, all right, if the cost of going up, if the cost of groceries going to the supermarket and getting healthier foods goes up, and you're not making enough money, all right, you're subject on the payments, everything, you know, you put money in your pocket, it falls out of holes, as it says in Haggai, you know, and you can't afford it, and why do you think so many people go to these fast food restaurants and see 9 chicken nuggets for $1? You know what I mean? And that can't possibly in no way be real chicken. So like people are forced economically, unless they want to starve to death, you know. And that's all done by design, you know.
Right.
I was going to keep reading.
I got a quick precept on just what you were saying, how wicked he is and all that. This is Isaiah 59:6.
Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their paths. You know, going what you was talking about.
Yeah, their feet are swift to do mischief and evil. Having put the second chapter, what is it? Neither they can't mind their own business, neither do they keep it at home. You know? So back in Psalm 58 and 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Okay, real quick, just to bring this out. This is Job 14 and 4. Who could bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one.
That's right. And Esau was born with leprosy, so he's born unclean, so what good can come out of him, man? You know?
Yes. It says, verse 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are the death adder that stoppeth the ear.
But that's what their lies and their philosophies, the things that they put out in the media. You know, how they trying to trip you up with all of these mandates and being hypocritical with all of their words, and people is eating it, you know, hook, line, and sinker, man, without a problem. People just going along with it, man. Not really looking into any type of research, any type of information, you know, because what? It's always things that's going to oppose. So if they put in all of this good stuff in the media saying, this is good for you, it's safe, it's this, it's that, well, why aren't they giving you the other side of the coin, man? Right. That's what people are not thinking about. You're hearing all of this, how safe it is, how it is. Where is the other side of the coin? They don't give it to you, so therefore what? You got to put in the work to see what it's all about, man. And through the power of the Lord, we know what it's about, man. You know, because like you said, on the other side, you got, just suppose you got doctors and stuff saying it's good, it's safe. You got doctors saying it's not safe, they shouldn't be doing this, they shouldn't be doing that. But then you see on social media, well, be like, oh, they saying this, they saying this. Well, who are we to believe? That's why the scripture tells us what, thou shalt go thy way, and you shall hear a voice. What's that? Isaiah 30 and 21. So hear a voice behind me. You know, because the Lord is our intuition, man. So when people talk about intuition, that comes from the Lord, man. You know, so that's the Lord putting a bug in our ear spiritually for us to know what time it is and which way for us to go, man. Isaiah 30 and 21.
Isaiah 30 and 21. And thine ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. When ye turn to the right hand, and when ye turn to the left.
Right, but people that's not in tune with the scriptures, how we are in tune with it, you really don't know which way to go. So some people are sincerely doing it, thinking it's the right thing to do, and some people are just being idiots. You know what I'm saying? But the scriptures give us the discernment we need and to know what's up, man. Because we research and we look into the ways of our enemy, man. How you think Esau gets on top of things? He gets to learn and understand his enemy, man. They said in Godfather, you know, Uncle Leon told his son, he said, never go to war with somebody that you don't know. Why? Because you got to be firmly acquainted with your enemies, man. Go 2 Corinthians 10:11. You got to know your enemy. Our enemy knows us. So why should you know your enemy and the ways of your enemy, man? You know, that's just like, boom, you could be a D1 basketball player. I'm the size you look like, man, I'm gonna bust this nigga ass on the court. I'll be out here every day. This is my court. But then he come out and start doing windmills and dunking on me. You know what I mean? Because I ain't know him like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do no research on him. Or I ain't sit back and watch him play a couple of games of pickup ball, so I know I gotta respect his jumper or I gotta respect his dribble. You know what I'm saying?
That's what all the best football teams, the best teams, the best boxers, they're about to fight somebody. Even before they pick the fight, they examine all their past fights, they look at their strengths, their weaknesses, look at reviewing the tape. So 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
And what is that, jab? It's a device. Because even though they want to put it out as what it is, they still technically can't call it that because it's still all experimental under the exact definition, man. Under the exact definition, it tells you that it cannot be called this because of such and such and such and such, man. You know, but you got to be able to pick that up, man. So we well equipped in knowing what we are to do and what we are not to do, man. you know.
And getting in tune with that, going back to that serpent, poison is like the serpent, poison of the serpent, because when a snake bites you, you don't die immediately, you know. It creeps up on you, and then all of a sudden, then boom, you're dead. That's the slippery slope and getting into the ouchie. It doesn't just stop there. People are taking it. People are going into the trap because they don't know their enemy. That if they give up their rights or they succumb or consent unto this devil's demands, that they think that they're going to get all their freedoms back. That's not going to happen. Okay, it's just going to go on to the next thing, onto the next thing, onto the next thing, until you're dead. Because what does the devil ultimately want to do? Going in on knowing your enemy, he wants to depopulate the earth, man. Knowing that piece of knowledge, why would you want to take anything this devil wants to give you for free? Here it is, this devil sells you water. Water is 70% of the earth, and he sells it to you for money, but he wants to give you something for free? Okay? That can't be for your benefit, man. This devil is greedy. He wants, if it was up to him, he would charge you for everything on the planet. But here it is, he wants to offer you this miracle cure, okay? That's so good and so good for you, all right, that he wants to give it away for free, all right? No such thing. There's nothing free in this world, man.
Even you had, what was that? One of the like so-called founding fathers, I believe. They said the only thing guaranteed in this world is death and taxes.
Oh, tax.
I forgot. Remember Thomas Edison? Yeah.
Real quick, Lamentations 5:2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless, our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money, our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution, we labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. So in every aspect, they have it all over us, man. It said what? They have our inheritance, which means what, our land, the property which we're supposed to have, you know what I'm saying? Saying what, our mothers are as widows because of what single parent at home due to what? A lot of the infrastructure and laws and things that Esau set into place to get Jake set up so that they're not around, to provide for the household as a man should. And then what the bare necessities of life are being sold unto us, man. It's crazy, man. You know?
This is Psalms chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So I'm just gonna say, like you said, like we're supposed to know our enemy because they know us. So like they're trying to figure out ways to bring us down. So and you guys aren't even doing anything out letting it happen. So that's basically what it is.
Yeah, our biggest defense is information. You know what I mean? Like we can't go up against the devil toe to toe with swords and arms. You know. So what? What are they saying now? Nowadays, it's an information war. Okay. And what's the scripture? Isaiah 33:6. Knowledge and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. You know. So hey, you got to know before you go, man. Okay.
I was looking for this thing because when they was talking about, as far as the jabs and things like that, I can't find it. But pretty much it was a Jake woman whose cells that they were using for a lot of experimentation, and that's a breakthrough for a lot of the common jabs that they have, like the polio, the MMR. They use the Jake lady cells for a lot of these different experiments and stuff. And now the family of that woman, because her bodily cells were stolen, they're suing for like $75 million or something like that. behind all of these companies using our DNA. So that's a part of what we're talking about, how they study us, man. Going back into how what get out. They wanted to use the Jake for that experimentation. They wanted to use the Jake body because what? We are superior to them. So everything is going to be experimental upon our people, man. Because they know we're stronger in every way, shape, form, or fashion, man. You know?
Yeah, I know. That's why they're pushing. That's why they got so mad at Texas when they're pushing that abortion law, because they want those dead fetal. They want those dead baby fetuses, man. You know, especially of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So that what they can poke, prod, stick with things. That's how they just admitted that this week. Y'all heard about that with Pfizer? Pfizer and developing, you know, their stuff. All right, it was in order to do it, they were experimenting with baby fetuses, man. You know, so hey, this devil studies us, and it's particularly a focus on the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
Not too long ago, they was actually doing it with the Edomite baby fetuses.
Yeah.
So they were trying to put, you know, their DNA in us. You know what I'm saying? On some crazy shit like that.
It says here, Psalm 64 and 5. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of lying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Okay, because especially now, like nowadays, 2/3 of our people still stuck sitting there watching MSNBC, CNN, and all these mainstream media television. You ain't gonna see what's happening onto you because these people are telling you lies, man. You know, straight a veil over your eyes that you can't seem to get over. Even despite these people getting caught over and over again in lies over and over again, man. Well, the president. You know, all these administrations, they're all liars, man. But you Jakes can't see it.
They have something called think tanks. You know, Esau, they always plot before they actually act.
Yeah.
So even with this whole ordeal of this whole, what you call, gimmick, whatever, it was all part of what? Part of a plan. They capitalized it. You know, what the guy say, the famous quote, never let a crisis go to waste.
Yeah, Rahm Emanuel said that.
Never let a crisis go to waste because chaos gives them power. Chaos gives them order. It gives them strength. You know, and it gives them the room to force their power over you.
Usually all the things done behind the scenes is when like a big war is going on or like there's some kind of confusion so that they can sign all their deals and pass all their mandates and laws in the background.
Yeah, they said that every war is a baker's war.
Right.
You know, right. It was their war. You know, they go into war because certain countries or certain elites from the other side, they're not accepting the bankers. So if they don't accept their policies and ways, then the elite's gonna go to war with them. You know, and they're gonna soak up. They're gonna gain and gain and gain. But this is the time that you lose, man, because the Lord said at the end of what's that? 2nd Ezra 6. How it goes, man. Jacob, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So we're actually witnessing the end of Esau's kingdom. We're witnessing it. We're witnesses, man. We're living through it. And the way that the Lord got it going down, you won't believe who's going to win. You can't see it. No, even if we told you, even if he told you, you still won't believe it because you can't see it. That's why it's all about faith, man. What's that? Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So, really, everything that's going on, the Lord is really forcing his men, his few sisters out there, to exercise faith, to believe in him. Because you will not believe who's going to win this whole movement.
Romans 3:3. But what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect?
Yeah, so what if some did not believe? That makes the word of the Most High not true. That makes the word of the Most High not true because you don't believe. Well, what about those that the Lord gave faith to? So I guess the word of the Lord is in none effect because you don't believe, but to them, you know, that the Lord gave faith to, you know, that's nonsense. Well, guess what? That's your faith, you know, because we understand the scriptures. The Lord spoke about the elect, and he also told us, he said, they ain't gonna get it. He told Jeremiah, look, don't even pray for these people for me, man. Don't pray, don't come to me talking about them. Worry about the godly, man. You know? Because guess what? Worrying about the 2/3 is gonna get you nowhere, man. You gotta worry about hoping and praying about that you're doing the right things each and every day that pleases the Lord. Because the question is, who is worthy of being delivered, man? Who is really worthy? Because you gotta be worthy, man. That's why the Lord gave us the option, not the option, excuse me. The Lord gave us his will to work. Because the work will prove your faith. Not that you're saved by the work, but it proves your faith. It shows that you're worthy, man. You know?
And if I may add, there's a reason why the Lord said, don't worry about, the unfaithful, so to speak. Because it is when you operate on faith, that's the highest frequency one can vibrate on. If you operate on fear, that's the lowest form of frequency one can operate on. And essentially, 2/3, they don't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the Lord. When we read Isaiah 33:6, it tells us wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time, and the fear of the Lord is his treasure. So here it is, that's going to allow us to be able to overcome Jacob's trouble, for the simple fact that we have this information. 2/3 don't have this information. That's why fear is going to overtake them, and they're going to kneel to the wiles of the devil, which is essentially accepting that problem, man, that right shit. So that's why here it is, if you play with dirt, you're going to get dirty. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, we don't entertain and engulf ourselves in the world, because essentially that's going to bring us down to a low level. That's why it's important to focus on those who are in the same like mind as us when it comes to the scriptures, because it's what? Edification. You know what I'm saying? Brothers getting built up, and when you're built up, that's when your faith becomes strong.
You quoted it. 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. The same must know it after death by pain.
And that's one of my favorite scriptures, man. Been quoting that for years. The same must know it after death by pain. So the Lord's got to put your ass to death in order for you to get the picture. Hey, there's a lot of individuals that's going to be blind until the message comes, man. You know what I'm saying? When we read Isaiah the 6th chapter, the 9th verse, he said, how long shall these people pretty much be blinded? He said, until the earth be wasted without inhabitants, man. So you're going to be able to see what we were saying when it's too late.
It says, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created.
That's what it's about, Bob and Hot, man. You know what I'm saying? When you're worried about 2/3, man, you're vibrating at a low level. Right. You know what I'm saying? And we can't afford to vibrate at a low level, man. At this moment. Right. So that's why it's important to be with men of the same like mind as you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to cultivate your mind, your faith, to be able to overcome all of this madness, man.
Yeah, I got a quick precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 15 and 1. Then said Yahawah unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight, and let them go forth. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whether shall we go forth, then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahawah, such as for to death, and such as are for the sword, for to the sword.
That's right, because how did the Lord pretty much remove us out of his sight? He removed us from the land of Israel. You know what I'm saying? The Lord had us scattered, to all four corners of the earth. And that's how we were removed from the Heavenly Father's sight. You know what I'm saying? The Lord got his eyes fixed on Israel. He see all of that abomination, going on within the land. And that's why Israel's going to be essentially destroyed. However, it's going to be rebuilt by the hands of the heathens, primarily Edom. And it is because it can be built, so now you got to repair it. You know what I'm saying? In the kingdom of heaven. But for the simple fact that in this future prophecy, the Lord's going to put 2/3 to death in the fashion that he best thinks fit, man. A lot of people going to be taken in their own particular fears, as written in Proverbs, the 1st chapter. Whatever scares you the most, guess what? The Lord's going to have you put to death by you.
It says, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whether shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahawah, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for captivity to captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith Yahawah, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. I got another quick one. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 7 and 41.
Before you get that, now that scripture complements the scripture where the Lord said that there was going to be beasts that would rule the community. You know what I'm saying? Here it is, Esau is a mad scientist, man. Here it is, he got animals and beasts that he DNA spliced. You know what I'm saying? Like man's best friend. You know what I'm saying? When you watch that movie from back in the day, man's best friend, here it is, it's a dog, but he has DNA traces of a lion, of a cheetah, of a bear. You know what I'm saying? Just different animals, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a shadow of things to come present day, man.
He made a tiger and a lion mate. They call it a liger. In all reality, if you left them in nature, they would have never had mates, man. You know? Yeah, they of the cat family, but they're still a different species, man. You wouldn't have a lion make a mistake and made it with a tiger in the wild. They would have been enemies, man. You know?
That's a part of his witchcraft. Let me read, since you brought that back up. What I was talking about earlier with the Jake lady, it says Henrietta Lacks, who had her cells taken without her consent in 1951. Her cells, and they call them now HeLa cells, will become one of the most important tools in history of medicine. Her cells were essential in developing the polio jab and were in scientific landmarks such as cloning, gene mapping, and in vitro fertilization. You know what I'm saying? So like pretty much her cells became immortal because they still use her cells unto this day for a lot of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, gene mapping. So with the gene mapping and splicing, all of that stuff like that, you know what I mean? All because what of a Jake.
Yeah, you had no business doing those things, man. You know? Gonna make me think of the scripture. I believe it's Isaiah 14. It says, Isaiah 14 and 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. No, Salaki. What's that? Change laws and times.
It's Daniel 7 and 25.
Nah, it's in Isaiah 24. Yeah. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 24 verse 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. All right, so Esau, you know, basically Jake going off. Here it is, you got now Esau, which the Most High, right, put a curse on them, and they're devouring the whole earth, man. You know, like the brothers are getting into gene mapping and all that stuff. Not only that, but poisoning our food and water. So now with the Lord, the only thing left for the Most High to do is to destroy it and make it new again. And it's perfect because it's according to the movement, man. It's according to the Lord's will. All right, because He's going to make us a new heaven and a new earth, which means refreshed. You know, I believe that word is kainos, if I'm not mistaken. All right. But real quick, this is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 7 and 41. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly. Wherefore say it not, be so now also. So like, you read the next verse. He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doeth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of immortality for to come. Wherefore corruption is past, and temperance is at an end. Infidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that had gotten the victory. So it's about getting the victory, man. You know, so that goes back. You know, who's going to actually get the victory in this movement? And that's the hopeful elect. So that's it.
So like what's that, speaking on victory, what's that, Romans 2, against the him that overcometh. Not Romans, Revelation.
It's second Ezra 8. So second Ezra 8 and 48. In this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, and that thou hast humbled thyself as it becometh thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous.
Yes, and you know, the Lord's talking to Ezra. The things aforetime was written for our learning, so we must conduct ourselves in the same like manner. You know what I'm saying? Now here it is. Ezra didn't compare himself to the prophets and the men that came before him. You know what I'm saying? Whether they was written in the scriptures, or even a brother in your camp. You know what I'm saying? Or a brother that you may even see out there on the highways and byways. You shouldn't be comparing yourself to another brother when it comes to abilities in which the Heavenly Father gave unto that particular brother. You know what I'm saying? Because when you find yourself comparing, you know what I'm saying, you have a sense of pride. You know what I'm saying? And when the scriptures say pride is when one separates from his maker. So you got to check yourself, you know what I'm saying, if you find yourself comparing. More importantly, because, you know, the Lord calls certain brothers in at a certain time and season. You know what I'm saying? So a brother that been in the faith longer than you, he'd be deemed one closer to Yahawashi than you. You know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures also say, forsake not an old friend, for the new is not comparable to it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't want to find yourself comparing yourself with certain brothers, man. Because now the Lord is looking at you to put it out.
They say comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because how can you ever really have joy within your work or what it is you do if you're always looking at the next person and what they do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and also too, just like with basketball, you know, they always want to compare Jordan, LeBron, this person, new school versus the old school. That shit is set in stone already. Like, let it be. You know, you ain't got to keep bringing it out. Like, appreciate it for what it is to keep it moving. You know what I mean? The same thing. You know?
You can't compete when you don't compare.
Yeah. Verse 50.
Yeah, real quick before you continue, Mr. Harper, the brother, because women, they always compare themselves to other women, and that kind of goes into being covetous, you know, because you might start wanting what that person has. Women start judging you, you're their husband, their man, and then they'll judge you off of what another woman has with her man. You know what I'm saying? So that'll kind of go into that demon of jealousy and covetous to have what somebody else to have what another person has.
And that also gets into comparing, not only doing it, you know what I'm saying, to exceed that person. You're not doing it out of sincerity. You're not doing it, you know, to please the Heavenly Father. You're doing it to please man, to show them that you're better than this individual. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of bullshit that comes with that, man. You got to check it.
Yeah. Hey, that's the brother said something very important. Elder Apostle Gabar, he did a lesson I saw this morning on fear the Lord. Because the Lord destroyed the earth the first time with water, man. He was disgusted, man. So at this point, being that we're going into the time of fire, the scriptures say, what manner of person are you to be? You know? And knowing that he said all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person are you to be? Hey, you got different camps. They're proving that they're doing these works for man. They're doing these works for some sort of glory. When in our reality, we're doing these works to hope that the Lord show mercy upon us, man. You know, hoping that we're worthy of being the elect. There you go again, being worthy of the Lord, man.
Hey, Salak, can I grab this one precept? This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 1. Salaki, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 11. And that ye study to be quiet and to do your own business and to work with your own hands as we commanded you, that ye may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing.
Yeah, because it's the honesty and the sincerity is that you hope this brother or this sister, they get it. Not that you can force it on them, but if they get it, now they got to pick up their cross. They got to pick up their burden. So now, hey, hopefully the Lord sees that as the elect. Because not everyone that's called is chosen. Not everyone that's called in this ministry is chosen. So we're just doing the will of the Lord in hopes that the Lord still the elect. And he can get us, we're getting very close to getting up out of here, man. Because the goal is to get up out of here. The goal ain't to start gaining, this image, this reputation in this world of what it is. We all teachers and prophets, man. We're doing this to get the hell up out of here, man. You know?
Getting back to 2nd Ezra 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter time, but shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto you is paradise open, and the tree of life is planted. The time to come is prepared. Plenty is made ready. A city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
Hey, it said to search out for one that's like you. You know, that glory, because you want to put yourself around men that's in the same, you know, same like-minded, man. That's they have the primary goal for Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi. Because if you put yourself around 2/3, then guess what? Hey, you got a chance of being destroyed. Yeah, you get sucked back into that world, man. You know, so you want to put yourself around godly men. You know?
Hey, it said for great miseries, it's going to find those who aren't in the same pipeline as you. So why join them too? You know, hey, misery love company. You know? So in that day, they're going to try every which way possible to invite you to their misery, man. You know, hey man, why don't you just go ahead and take the jab, man? Your life will be much easier. Yeah. You know, why don't you go take the chip, man? Your life will be much easier. And preserve you from death. Nah, you got misery, man. Like the scripture saying in Wisdom of Solomon in the 3rd chapter, it says, in the sight of men they seem to die. But we are in peace, man. Why are we in peace? Because we have the scriptures.
Yeah, the scriptures say also, and two walk together lest they agree. So if you're tagging along with them and they're in the world, then you must agree with their ways. So why not you being judged with their ways? The Lord told, is it Ezekiel, he said to prophesize and warn to basically get this blood off our hands, man. So that when the Lord do judge, at least we don't be judged with the wicked. Because we strive, you know, we warn, we did the work.
Verse 53. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you.
See, the root of evil is sealed up from among you, man. The root of evil is on these people, man. They rooted in it, man. They in a car listening to all that demon shit, going crazy. You know? There ain't nothing wrong listening to it, but if you consumed in it, you got the root of evil in you, man. You know? It's gonna be bad times with you. Somehow, some way, why is it that whenever Jake get together, why is always fights breaking out? Why is nobody seeing eye to eye? Why he beefing with him? Why? It's all in these tribes, man. You get Esau over here, Esau over there, they come together, everything cool with them, man. But you put Jake together, gunshots go off, you know? The curse, man. Because that evilness is rooted in you, man. It's bad times with you, man. You're just going somewhere with him. You might be in the passenger side with your brother, your cousin in the world. You know, like your biological. Next thing you know, you get pulled over. What the fuck? You ain't get pulled over in years. You just in the passenger side taking a ride with him, with big bro, no little bro. You driving, it's his car, and the cop pull y'all over. You like, oh my God. This nigga got bad demons on him, man. Get away from this nigga. You know?
Yeah, even I was watching an interview with Meek Mill, and even his wicked ass was saying, like, damn, like, you killed all of these people, you got bad energy, I'm gonna stay away from you. But here it is, but that's the hypocrisy. He promotes it in his music. You know how he killing people and things of that nature, but now in the same breath, it's like you don't want to be next to an individual who killed all these people because it's like now he carry bad energy. So what is it?
Yeah, if you was in the world, man, you had time in the world before you came in the truth, you played the street a little bit, you know? You know, certain dudes that just got a bad rep, you always, you know, you with them, and next thing you know it's beef, and then that's because that's your boy, so, you know, the demon approach when you was there, so you gotta help him. If you don't help him, then you're pumped, you know what I'm saying, then you gotta have to deal with him, because he's gonna want to fight you and shit. So now you're caught in a situation. That's why you gotta cut them off, man.
Like Trey and the boys in the hood.
Verse 53. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
Yeah, corruption, because everything that the works that they do is all corruption, man. They're not doing anything that pleases the Lord. Everything that these ninjas and these harlots, they do, is all for corruption, man. Worshiping pagan holidays, going to these supporting this wicked society, man. You know, they're going along to get along. You know, TikTok, the trendy challenges, they're all a part of it, man, because it's all folly, man. That's all corruption, man. He's talking right now to start a new challenge, and Jake gonna swallow it up. You know, you talk about moles and transformers. That's the Greeks, man. They're known for it, man. But today, you would think that Jake is known for it, not them. You know?
And they got the slapping the teacher challenge.
What?
Yeah. People actually slapping their teacher in the back of their heads and stuff like that.
So that's what it is, okay? Because I had got a phone call, you know, from one of the schools, and they said make sure that your children, when they come to the school, do not participate in that TikTok challenge. And I was like, what TikTok challenge?
It's the last days, man.
That's why, hey, that's another thing, man. Right now, if you got children, get your children up out of the schools, man. Get them up out of that shit right now, man. Because what they're doing, even in the schools, they have think tanks, man. They got, that's the government, man. That's the mind control. So what they're doing now is that they came up with this way where the first day of school, they gave these children laptops, man. So that in case, you know, if this thing go off again, we got to go home, so you be prepared. But that ain't the catch. The catch was that now, at any moment throughout the school year, they can say numbers went up. And so now you gotta quarantine at home for 14 days. But to get back into the school, you gotta get some credentials. After you've been going to school for all this long time, and then they say, oh, it's an outbreak. But you're home 14 days. But in order to get back, you gotta come with credentials. That's the only way you get back. Get your children up out of there, man.
I got to speak on this too about schools, man. A lot of this is happening down south, where they're saying that they're calling parents domestic terrorists for like going to school board meetings and going up against talking and disagreeing with what school boards are actually doing. And some of the things that these teachers are doing, they're slipping into the libraries stories about moles and like having male-on-male activities and things like that to children, and they're bringing and the children are bringing the books home. The parents are seeing it, reading it, and it's like, what the fuck is this? And they're going to the school boards and reading it, complaining about it, and now the school board is talking about calling the FBI on these people. You know what I mean? So get your children out of there, bro.
They're allowing putting in the bathrooms, all gender bathrooms, where they can all go in together. It's crazy, bro. Yeah. It's just crazy as hell.
I seen that shit the other day. I'm like,
Sorrows are past, and in the end is show the treasure of immortality, and therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish.
So don't ask them more questions. Don't even worry about the 2/3, man. The Most High gonna deal with them, man. That's how, worrying about them gonna get you destroyed, man. You know, you might got family members who you may love, care about. At the end of the day, you gotta think about yourself, man. Paul said, have thy faith, have it to thyself. Because you don't know if you're gonna make it, man. We're gonna make it out of here by the skin of our teeth, man. By the very hairs upon our skin, we're gonna make it out of here. Simultaneously, man. You know, when the fire's blown, that fire coming, and all of a sudden, and then you looking out the windows, man. So anything that was left there, the Lord didn't choose to pick it up, you know, to take up. And it's dead, man. And when you in that rim, when you in that chariot, you're not gonna be crying, man. You're not gonna be crying for them who lost. No, you're gonna be praising Yahawashi, man. You know? You feel like that now because you in this flesh, man. You in this damn wicked ass, sinful ass, bullshit ass flesh, man. You know? It's how you change this shit.
That's the spirit, how the brother had brought out corruption. And that's how you know the Apocrypha and the Bible is like hand in hand, because the Apostle Paul said this corruption must put on incorruption. So this flesh, everything that's tied to this flesh, the emotions, the family, all the bullshit, that's gonna be going away with it.
And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways.
Yeah, you despising the Lord, man. You're crazy for despising the Heavenly Father and his Son. When Yahawashi went on that cross, all right, and he was crucified for all of us, particularly the elect. But it was for you too if you're an Israelite, man. Because through the elect, now you coming back, man. Scriptures talk about reincarnation, man. What's that? Re means back, incarnation means flesh. So we come back into the flesh, man. I think what? Every 30 to 40 years, what's the same life?
Third or fourth generation.
Third or fourth generation, man. You know? You got something? Anything you got, you bring it out.
Yeah, this is Philippians chapter 2, verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have also obeyed, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence.
Yeah, because, you know, being that the Lord is not with us physically, he's with us spiritually, but we're obeying by the Lord, man. That's that faith. Everybody don't got faith, man. And all of us brothers going to be tested, you know, on that faith. You know, just yesterday I was saying, you know, in the lesson, you know, don't let this flesh, don't let this, might get that, 2 Corinthians 14:14, if I'm not mistaken, it's like it, golden thoughts. Because don't let this flesh get the best of you, man. You have to learn to let the faith drive sometimes, man. Go into faith, man. You know, because trying to calculate everything and you know, trying to keep yourself comforted. You know, I'm gonna do this first and do that. Sometimes you just gotta go in faith, man. I don't say go off faith, but go into faith, man. Use it. Let faith drive. Let's see what the Lord is doing, man. Let the Lord work. Because that's really what we're coming down to. At the very end, it's gonna be strictly off faith, because you're not gonna know. You're not gonna have a cell phone, man. If you're a pilgrim, you're not gonna have one of these. You're a fool walking around with this shit. Walking around with this shit in your pouch, hoping it come on, like Esau. Doomsday prepping, hoping that we get some signal. You're going to the highest building, like TV shows, The Walking Dead. One of them shows where it was a blackout in New York or something, and they was trying to find the highest building to get the kid a signal, man. The signal ain't gonna work. The signal we got is through the Spirit, through the Lord, man.
I said the signal do come out. Who you gonna call?
Yeah, we gonna call, yeah. You know? And the first thing they do in those movies, they show you. That's why you gotta watch those movies, because it's spiritual. You know, it deals with the flesh and the fleshly thoughts that come into your mind. You know? First thing these people do is that they figure since they was home and this stuff happened, the first thing they do is they gotta get home first. Because they gotta check to see if family open the door. Bang! Mom, Joe, Jerry, you in there? And then you gotta survive, and you still hope, you still gotta hope, or you think you gotta live off hope that they still alive somewhere. And then you gotta try to travel from there. But you did all this traveling to get back there to nothing.
Yeah. Step number 2 is always the mass detention area, where everybody, where the radio told everybody to go. Oh, maybe my wife is there.
Yeah, man. So those movies you could use, you know, for spiritual armor, man. You know, getting those thoughts in your mind, because the Lord put those things there for a reason, man. This is why sometimes brothers say they meditate. We're not meditating on no witchcraft, man. Brothers are saying meditate because they're sitting there just, you know, thinking. The Lord said count the thoughts, man. Shit pop in your mind, you start thinking, you know. You might pray, do some prayers up. Lesson may come to you or something like that. Do a lesson on it, man. You know?
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
And we got to work out this salvation with fear and trembling. So we got to tremble. We got to fear. We got to be humble, man. Anybody being prideful, anybody being prideful at this moment is a damn fool, man. You being prideful now, and you seeing that Esau is taking things away, hey, you can be prideful if you are for Esau. Go right ahead, because the Lord won't destroy all that pride. You're not for the Lord, but being prideful at this point where this devil is putting everything into a narrow path, that's the Lord, man. He's using Esau as a sword to make things narrow, to walk that narrow path. It's either this way or no way, all right? going this way is either the Lord or you're going to choose Esau, man. Plain and simple, man.
Second Ezra 14 and 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times.
Yeah, because the mortal thoughts, that's that bullshit that pop in your head, man. That you know damn well, you know, you already have the instructions. See, the Lord gave us the instructions, but the flesh is so weak, it'll start beating upon you, man. Start getting mad and shit, you know? Start getting upset and then get stressed when the Lord already gave you the solution. See, we gotta let faith drive, man. Sometimes you gotta say fuck it, you know? Not meaning fuck it, as in you just let, you know, you just do it on void nothing. Because, you know, brothers know, you know, you got men going around saying fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. No, it ain't just fuck it, man. It's a certain way when you're saying fuck it, all right? You don't just run around here and say fuck it, and then you just get hemmed up by the police. That's you being wicked, man, because you're not moving right. You got to use wisdom. But in a time that you ain't got no choice, and this is the only way out, you got to go on the faith. Let the Lord work. That's when you're saying, you know, fuck it, man. It is what it is, man. I lose, I lose. You know?
Got a quick precept.
This is Romans 13 and 14. But put ye on the Lord, Yahawashi Hamashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill lust thereof. I'm not going into the mortal thoughts, you know, to let go of the mortal thoughts and all that. This is Romans 13 and 14. But put ye on the Lord, Yahawashi Hamashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof.
Like the brother said, mortal thoughts, man. You gotta fight. See, this fight is all personal, man. Because it's in you gotta fight yourself first. Once you're able to conquer yourself to a degree, you know, and that's why the Lord chastises us in certain troubles, because we have a certain path. You'll be better off that way. You know? Yeah, our apostles and elders at GreatMillStone, here at GreatMillStone, all right, they've seen a lot. They've been through a lot. So taking sound wisdom from them is very needed, because they've seen it before. We're getting experience, you know, as we grow. Brothers got experience, but they got even more, you know? So that's why going back into the scriptures, you want to put yourself around godly men and stay away from them 2/3, man. So, you else have something? Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Luke chapter 21, verse 34 says, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
Yeah, a lot of things too, brothers, you know, not furring or whatever the case may be. It's because you're not praying. You gotta pray. And every day you should be praying. Every day it should be a prayer without even thought. You know? That's the spirit it should be in. Because at this moment, look at this shit, man. You can't see what's coming down the pipe. You can't see it. If shit ain't happening to you, then I don't know if you're a man of the Lord, man. You know, you gotta check yourself. Even when shit ain't happening to you, you gotta be like, yo, dude, you know? Not that you think who wants to suffer, but you gotta check yourself. Yeah, it just happens, man.
We attracted to something.
Yeah.
Because we got this word. It's for the simple fact that this word is in us, you know what I'm saying? It's like we become beautiful to suffer. You know what I'm saying? That's why the second chapter is written. You know, prepare thy soul from temptation. You know what I'm saying? Satan knows that we know. So now he has to fuck with us to see if we about what we know. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to remain firm or are you going to fall? So what? And then every tribulation, it's like each obstacle gets harder and harder. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like, damn, I don't know how the hell I'm going to get out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord will come through.
Yeah, because like, you know, in the flesh, and especially because, you know, most of us you know, we haven't been in the truth that long, but the majority of our time been in the world. So, and, you know, with the flesh, that's still worldly elements. Like your physical still used to kind of seeing like the precious jewels of the world, like the money and comfort and you're having a good time and all that. But the Lord is like, nah, I want you to put off the jewels of the world and get these spiritual jewels I'm trying to get you to grab. Because when you look at it, it's ingredients to being a man of the Lord. It's ingredients that's going to take us to endure the times that's to come. Faith, you know, believing in the Lord, you know, doing the work of the Lord. You know, it gets into, in Colossians 3, it talks about like the different attributes of a man of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So all of these are spiritual nutrients, spiritual jewels in which the Lord is trying to build us up to gain so that we can withstand the time that is to come, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point the brother made. Ingredients. Because, you know, we're like, the Lord said we're salt. You know? So when you look at it, the Lord, you know, you're catching hell, you're catching tribulation. That's the Lord adding a little bit more ingredients, you know what I'm saying? All right. This brother here cook. Well, he can't cook that, so, you know, he get that little right touch, you know, be like, you know, but you like this. Mad as hell until it's all over, man.
So I got testimony coming down. You know, I pray every time I come down here. My bad. Yeah, I pray every time I come down here, and I lost my debit card, and my tank was on E, and I only had $10. So I was praying like I was hoping that I could make it down here, and like halfway down, I had that thought like am I gonna make it? And so I was like, nah. So I turned off, and I just meditated. I was like, yo, if I don't believe, that's just gonna make my prayers that basically in my ear, you know. I'm sorry, but you know, like I'm thinking like, yo, I prayed. If I prayed, I should believe. You know what I'm saying? If I go back home, you know, that's gonna make
exercise the faith.
Right. So like I turned back and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna keep going. So I kept going and kept going and kept going. And then I called, you know, Shabal, you know what I'm saying, you know, to help me out to see if he had some for me. And then of course he did you know, the water. But as I was going down, I was really close to here, and I was like, wow, what if I went back home? Like, and right now I'm here, you know what I'm saying? I say, yo, BaHaSham, you know, shop for that, because I could have went back home and just not, you know, come and do this work. So, hey, BaHaSham, shop for that. Hey, so I hope that.
Yeah, you just brought another testimony because you brought me to a time, I want to say it was like 2014. That's when brothers had school and everything. And then that's when I just got that Crown Vic. And got the Crown Vic, I'm on the Parkway. I'm passing, I want to say exit 135. All of a sudden, my steering wheel gets tight. Like, I'm trying to get into the next lane, and my steering wheel is tight. Turns out my serpentine belt has snapped. Right? So here it is, I can't maneuver my steering wheel. I had to pretty much put all my might just to even turn my steering wheel. Like I said, I'm on the Parkway. And then, you know, to get to the brother's house at the time, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to actually get to my destination. You know what I'm saying? So at the time, you know, put prayers up to the Lord, you know what I'm saying, that I don't back up, that I don't crash, and you know what I'm saying, all the misfortunes pretty much happened at that particular moment, but you know what I'm saying, the Lord got me there straight. You know what I'm saying, I believe you helped me with the belt and everything, but I believe we went to the AutoZone, helped put on the belt and things like that on the car. You know, but you know, the Lord came through.
Yeah, real quick, this is Romans chapter 8 and 23. It says, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves growing within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. Here's the point.
Yeah, we on YouTube.
It's the GMS Shield of Faith.
Oh, GMS Shield of Faith. GMS Shield of Faith.
Put anything GMS.
Yeah, Shield of Faith.
Just put GMS. Just type in GMS. GMS.
Yeah,
Type in
GMS.
GMS.
Yes.
GMS.
Hey, this is the point, right? The brother
That
was
out.
saying. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 24. For we are saved by hope. But hope that is seen is not hope.
Exactly.
But what a man seeth, why do we yet hope for?
Like I said, sometimes you don't see yourself making it to where you gotta go.
Right.
Sometimes you just gotta hope. That's what it is.
And you know what that does? That builds up your faith. Because you let faith drive you. I say that, but you big on your faith in the Lord, that the Lord will get you there. You know? Because if you would have just said, let your body think that, you know what? When you go home, you prayed already. But when you pray, at the end of your prayer, we say, BaHaSham, 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 Yahawashi, Yahawashi, the water. So the water means thank you. So if I say, hey, brother, can you give me a cup of water? Thank you. That means you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, you're going to do it. But I'm thanking you for it. You know what I'm saying? You got to believe in our prayers. You got to believe in those prayers.
So, Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. And Yahawashi said unto them, because of your unbelief. But verily I say, 18, Matthew 17 and 18. And Yahawashi rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahawashi apart, and said, why could not we cast him out? Because prior to Yahawashi coming, the disciples attempted to cast out the demon that the child was possessed with. Verse 20, and Yahawashi said unto them, because of your unbelief, but verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Howbeit this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting.
And real quick, another thing, exercise your faith. I would share with brothers just for edification's sake. Look like it was going to rain. Pray to the Lord. Ask the Lord, in your head, pray to the Lord, BaHaSham, you want to rain, nah, it didn't rain. So that just lets you know the Lord heard you. So you say, you know what? Y'all, I would. As soon as you leave, everybody's like, pull it down. That's the Lord. You gotta be spiritual, man. You gotta believe, man.
This is 2 Corinthians chapter 5, start at verse 6. Therefore we are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in our bodies, we are absent from the Lord. The point. For we walk by faith and not by sight. So, yeah, that's exactly what I did too.
And that's going to come on a big way too now, because your life is going to change, man. You're going to have to make decisions that's going to change your life. And you're making, hopefully, the decisions you make be in the favor of the Lord. One thing to pray for is ask the Lord to guide your steps in righteousness, because he can guide your steps in wickedness too. You could not be of the elect. At a certain point, you could be going left. You was going good, and then at a certain point, because you're not of the elect, certain fruits, the Lord got to shift you left. Because we don't do anything. The Lord do everything for us, man. So you could be coming up, doing good, holding it down, and then all of a sudden, you done went left. You don't even know how it happened. Got kicked, all this and that. Then you bugged out a little bit, you forgot, and guess what? That was the Lord, because it wasn't the elect. So the Lord shifted you out. So you got to pray, man.
That's why Judas. Judas was with the disciples teaching. You know what I'm saying? He was walking the walk and everything like that. But at that opportune time for prophecy to be fulfilled, the Spirit was put upon him to pretty much sell the Lord out.
And basically tell the Romans like how he was going to point them out.
Yeah.
Like he said, I'm going to give him a kiss.
Thou betrayed me with a kiss.
Right.
Real quick. Romans chapter 9, verse 15. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
Hey, that's heaven. Because the Lord will have mercy on whoever he feel he want to have mercy on, and he will have compassion on whoever he feel like he will have compassion on. It's all according to the Lord, man. So, your prayers, meditate on your prayers. Start reading Psalms, man. Read Psalms to pick up on some things. So that you can say in your prayers, you pick up when you read, you it hits home, and then all of a sudden your prayers, you kind of just always chain it back out, pull it back out, and it gets stuck in your dome, and you're just scared. You got to do that, man. We all got to do that, man. So that hopefully the Lord guide our steps in righteousness and help us be delivered on the ships, man.
And it says, so then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy.
Hey, and when you have that understanding, it brings joy because you know that the wicked is going to lose. Esau, Edom, you're going to lose, man. These elites, and they look like they, oh man, they winning. Esau is actually losing in his NWO right now. It's not going the way that he expected. The artificial intelligent computer is not, it didn't bring him success, man. It's working in a way, but it's longer than expected, man.
Got malfunctions happening.
Yeah, malfunctions, man. Little uproar and things he didn't understand because why? Most High controls the movie, man. So that's another good thing to look at it, man. You know, the wicked is gonna lose. The wicked gonna lose.
Hey, even with World War III on the horizon, man. You can't have an NWO with war on the horizon, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's the destruction of nations, man. You know, because this man's been found out, man, so they're gonna come up against this damn man. So once we see that, we know that when the Lord is gathering these people in that certain area, okay, over there in the Middle East, we know that the Lord is doing it for our sakes, though, man, because the Lord is going to plead for His heritage and for His people, man.
Hey, and that's a good point that you said that because you see it in movies all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because these devils attempt to establish a NWO, that's a form of prosperity. You can't go to war in the middle of trying to achieve prosperity. You know what I'm saying? Like you see it in the movies all the time. Like, here it is, a drug dealer, go to the plug, and here it is, they have the understanding, like you're in the middle of war, you're a liability, you may not bring the money back that you're supposed to pretty much profit to get back to me because you're in the middle of the war. You know what I'm saying? You could get killed off at any moment. And I don't get, here it is, I'm fronting you this, you know what I'm saying? It's not a good investment, I'm fronting you this, but ain't no guarantee I'm gonna get it back. You know what I'm saying? Police all in the mix. Right. You know? So it's like, so it's a bad situation. So that's a good point.
You know, and the common denominator is that these other nations, right? They know that this country here has a stranglehold on the dollar. The dollar is the standard of the world. So they know that they're in agreement with this new system behind the scenes, though. But they're gonna ultimately have to go to war anyway, though. Because why? Because once they feel like once they take away the stranglehold of the dollar, that these other countries have a chance to rise up in power, man. Like China. You know what I'm saying? So the scriptures talk about, man, why did they heat the rage and imagine the same thing, man? You know? Because a lot of times, like I said, China, you know, China's really trying to be on the cutting edge of this new type of system they're trying to roll out. And then that whole dollar stranglehold will be no more. So now they feel like they got a chance, you know?
Scripture, Job chapter 5, verse 12, it says, He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Yeah, and look, and see, the Lord told us the movie, man. He's going to disappoint them, but the way that the Lord is going to disappoint them is so beautiful, man.
Hey, Salah, you know this Bible is called leverage. We have the drop of the Edomites, man. So the fact that we know what's going to happen allow us to have leverage over you devils. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the faith kicks in. That's where the faith should be amplified, actually, because we know the end game.
Yeah. And that's why we should be joying. Inside, you should be happy and hasting for the day of the Lord to come. Because we're so close than we ever been, man. But Apostle Paul said that salvation is nearer than when we believe. And at this point, it's nearer than when we believe, man. So the way that the Lord is going to take down these Edomites is so beautiful. Because it's like, the setup is like, say you got a dog or something. Or let's say you got a little 4-year-old or something in the house. And you notice every morning you get up, there's a cookie missing from the jar. And you be like, this little and then you go ask him, did you eat the cookie? Alright. You ask him again, you eat the cookie? Next thing you know, you waiting that night, listening, act like you're going to sleep, then you hear the tiptoeing, you get up, start going in there, and then you cut the light on. Click, and his hand in the jar like this. What the fuck are you doing? That's how the Lord gonna do eat, man. He's gonna get you Esau, right while you're eating, man. When you started to munch on a few cookies, going in, getting your belly full, that's when the Lord gonna come down. Yahawashi gonna crack those clouds, man.
Hey, they say we caught you red-handed for a reason. Yeah. Edomites is red. You're guilty.
us go. You further our affliction. You know, you want us to be your perpetual slave. You want to eliminate the Most High. You want to put technology inside of us, man. You want to separate us. Matter of fact, another day, you claim that you're the children of the Most High. Check that out. Yahawashi come back and, wait, I don't know you. Who the hell is these small hats? So you're guilty. The Lord allow us to tell you right now that you're guilty, man. And you know you're guilty. That's why you're running. You know, looking for another way out.
So this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found. This is Jeremiah 50 and 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahawah.
Yeah, you Edomites are not going to be aware of the coming of the Lord. Because the Lord said no one knows. Not even the angels, not even himself. So that means you Edomites can't calculate the set time and day that the Lord is coming. And it makes it perfect because they're going to be fighting, man. And in the midst of it, they all going to have to turn together and fight. That's coming, man. So the Lord is on time, man. Hey, the Most High is the master, man. He's the ultimate creator, man. He's the power of the universe, man. For anything that exists, man. We're his creatures. You know?
Hey, and it's almost like Ronald Reagan, when he, back in 1984, he deemed the Bible as the law of the land. And then he turned around and said, suppose that there was another being out there and we have to come together. It's almost like they already know it, but he was basically putting it out there because they know that they're going to have to fight against the Lord, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, your algorithm can't put, your artificial intelligence cannot prophesize the scriptures for you. You know? You're going to put it in the computer, see if it can tell you what time, calculate the numbers and all that. This prophecy is, you know? No, artificial intelligence is controlled by the heavenly Father and the Son. You know? All that is just a spirit, man. And energy.
And you mentioned how the way the Lord is going to get Esau is going to be beautiful. It's going to be so beautiful. This is Jeremiah 23 and 7. It says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel, the seed of the house of Israel, out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
And that's prophecy, man. So that North country is what? That North country is the Northern Hemisphere, man. North America, man. Which North America is Babylon the Great. And then it said out of every country that they was pushed out to, scattered to. So that means the elect is scattered. But there's a boat with tons of Israelites that are in Babylon, but the elect is scattered. So at the time the Lord is going to come, right that hour, he's going to take them up, man. You know?
I got one. Amos chapter 3, and I'll get to the point, verse 8. The lion hath roared, who will not fear? The Lord power hath spoken, who can but prophesy? Published in the palaces at Ashdod, and in the palaces in the land of Egypt, and say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, and behold the great tumult in the midst thereof, and the oppressed in the midst thereof. And what? That's when the Lord's going to come back. We're going to get caught red-handed because what? We're going to be in this devil's hands, right? So it says, for they know not to do right, saith the Lord, who store up violence and robbery in their palaces.
When he mentioned Ashdod, and he mentions Egypt, man. So he's basically talking about those brother rats over there too, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're devising and they're hand in hand with the rulers here in Babylon, man. You know, because everything is done for the sake of these people, man. You know, okay, on the wicked left hand side, man. You know.
That's the point right there. Job 20 and 4. Knowest thou Not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment.
Right, and Daniel said that. Daniel said that, man. Daniel went through the kingdoms, man. All right, he prophesied and told you the kingdoms, man. When you go from the Assyrians, right, on down to down here, you're down to the 10 toes, man. You know, so this is the end, man. So like I said, it's gonna be broken. At the Lord, paraphrasing, it's gonna be broken without hand, man. You know, that's Yahawashi coming back, man, to take out those 10 toes, man.
That's right. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds.
Hey, that excellency is talking about their pride. You look the word excellency up, it's talking about the height and elevation of their pride. So when the height and elevation of their pride is going to happen when they're eating, they're thinking that they won success. When the NWO have been accomplished, sort of say, while it's being accomplished, that's when they're going to get more prideful, because now they can actually turn on them G's, the different G's, and they can actually calculate everybody, because everybody will have what? That MOTP, man. Okay? They will have that form of technology inside of them, and they'll be able to be the most high. They'll be able to do this, do that, control the minds, the way you think. They're already doing it now. You know?
It says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung.
Like shit, man. Like feces. When you poop. You know? That word. Sounds so feminine. You know? But when you shit, alright, you don't look for it. You don't know, once you flush it, you don't know where it goes. You're not looking for it. You know, it's forgotten about. You know, you have to, throughout the day, you have to think, damn, yo, I go to basketball today? Oh yeah, you know, like, I did shit. Okay, you forgot. But that's how you Edomites gonna be forgotten about. You know, this kingdom, this whole gloriness of your kingdom, it's gonna be forgotten about. Forgotten about. You know, nobody wanna remember this shit goes, man.
You hate the fact that it's around. You ever go on a fucking, job site on a Porta Johns and shit? Oh my god.
Look, that's how we gonna
smell like hell.
Saw in the kingdom. Every time Edom around, I smell shit. Then look at him. Get him the fuck up out here.
Fucking 3 miles away, he still smells bad.
Yeah, what is Edomite doing in here? Get that Edomite out of here. Just fix it. That's some shit. You know?
It says, they which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night.
Yeah, certain visions that you, I think that shit. Certain dreams that you have at night, if they ain't good, you don't want to remember it no more. You got a good dream, you want to remember it. You want to remember the details, you want to tell somebody. You're quick to tell somebody if you got a good dream, man. Something spiritual. Like I tell you, last night, man. You got a bad dream, you don't wake up, yeah, brother, I had this bad dream. That ain't logic, man. You be like, I ain't telling that brother about that. Shit. You're probably thinking that yourself gonna be destroyed. You probably had a dream you got destroyed. Now you think to yourself, right, you're destroyed. You want to forget about that shit. Nah, man, that was Satan on my mind at night. Satan on me, I gotta pray.
It says, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. It says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods.
Yeah, because Esau is going to what? He's going to be popular. He's going to breed. He's going to breed you. Your children is going to be seeking to please the elect, man. Please the Israelites. We're going to build up our walls, man. You reap what you sow, man. The Lord is all for an eye for an eye. It's all about recompense. It's just when. The Lord is all about recompense. But when? That's the question.
That's Salaki. I was going to say that's beautiful because when you look at ancient Egypt, how the Lord brought us out, before he actually brought the last plague, he told the children of Israel to get the gold from the Egyptians. So that's them like nourishing us before we leave this place.
Yeah, not leaving empty-handed.
Yeah, and you think to yourself, like, why would the Lord have them do that?
Hey, this time we don't need nothing from this place. We're going to get them perfect bodies.
And what much more the riches got laid up for us, man.
Yeah.
He keep it up. What is it? He keep it up for the last days.
Yeah, right.
But he's gonna vomit it up, man. He's gonna vomit it up. Everything, all that gold you got there, man, all the gold bars and all the precious jewels that you got in the earth, you're gonna vomit it back up, man. You know?
For precept, this is Second Esdras chapter 2, verse 13. Go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. Take heaven and earth to witness. For I have broken the evil in pieces and created the good. For I live, saith the Lord.
This is like the Lord, man. When I read that scripture, man, it's almost like how you say, like, you know, trying to set a movie for like the wedding, right? Okay, you know, you set the lights down low. You know what I'm saying? You got the food prepared. You know, you got this cooking. You got everything, you know, served up and waiting for that the bride, man. We're the bride, man. You know, okay, the Lord's prepared everything for us, man. You know,
This is St. John chapter 14 and 1. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in Yahawah. Believe also in me. For in my father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go and prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And whither I go, ye know, and the way you know.
hey, this universe is made for us, man. You know, we're gonna have to go through trying times to get there, but we're gonna get there, man. You know, that everything's been prepared, and all this man can do is window shop, man. All you can do is window shop right now, man. He sees those planets out there, man. You know, this is why this man is always trying to have those endeavors, man, to go up there, man. You know, but he can't do it, man. He can't get past that man out there, man. As much as he wants to feed the public the seat and say that they've been here and been there, they haven't been nowhere past that International Space Station. Space station, man. You know what I'm saying? Which is only about 1,000 miles above the Earth's surface, man.
You're talking about the other day, Google station, that little bright light that's always there. I believe that you said that's Esau shit, right? The station,
Like a big ass star, right?
Yeah, with the bright light.
There's only one star that's supposed to be the brightest, and there's like a bunch of them, so you be thinking it's the space stations and shit like facts.
Hey, real quick, this is 2nd Esdras 6 and 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thou firstborn, thou only begotten, and thou fervent lover, are given into their hands.
Hey, that goes into Ecclesiastes 10 and 6, man. You know, princes walking upon the earth and the servants walking on the horses, man. You know. All right, so this place is set in great folly. You know what I'm saying? The folly is holding some type of this is a dignity, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's folly, man. You know, but Esdras was speaking about why these people moving over us, man. That really are nothing, man. You know, all right. But we have a hard way to go, man. You know, we're at the end of this captivity.
It's verse 59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Right, because why? Because these heathens, man, are going to be under our feet, man. Okay? This is their time of boot, man. These other heathens, really, Esau's in rulership, but the heathens are the ones that's getting the pumps off the table, man. You know? But the Lord's going to turn the tables, man, to where these people are going to basically destroy each other, man. You know? And the Lord's going to have that ultimate check on top of opening up that armory, man, and destroying this place, man. You know?
It says, if the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? It's the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Hey, that's balance, that's ultimate balance of the Lord, man. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, man. You know, the Lord always has balance in everything, man. Read Proverbs, the 11th chapter, man. The whole chapter is dealing with the Lord's balance, man. That's one of the characteristics of our Lord, man. Of having balance, man. Just like here in Esau's system, right? All right? What's the saying they have here? You know, karma's a bitch. Hey, karma is a bitch, man. You know? You know, what goes around comes around, man. You know, those little worldly sayings, man. Hey, the Lord holds out to those type of sayings, man. You know, but that's scriptural at the end of the day, man.
Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 60, verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls.
Just like we built up this kingdom, okay? They're gonna build up our kingdom, man. That's balance, man.
It says, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Yeah, they minister unto these damn devils, man. Okay? All right? We've been brought down from our royal estate, man. To what? They got our backs whipped, you know what I'm saying? To basically, nearly half of us died getting over here, okay? By force, man. Human trafficking, man. Yeah. Okay? This man is a fugitive, man. He's a fugitive, okay? He's a human trafficker, okay? He's a goddamn thief, okay? All right?
Yes,
and to add insult to injury, he has the nerve to be talking about illegal aliens, you know, and border crisis, and we need to keep them out. Meanwhile, you stole this land, you know, from the very people that are trying to get across the border. This was their land before that.
Human trafficking.
Yeah. Right.
Sex trafficking, human trafficking.
Right. And then that's when we're coming down this weekend. They're celebrating Columbus Day, man. They're getting ready over there in the city, man. Columbus Day, man. You know? Okay? And when they talk about Columbus, and according to Renaissance and Esau history, you know, he did discover America according to what their history is, man. But we know otherwise, man. This is what they teach in the books, man. That he discovered it for their new world, man. They call this the new world, man. Now it's at the end of this shit to where they're trying to create an NWO now, man. You know, they always call this place the new world, man. You know?
Yeah, real quick, you think about it. Human trafficking, sex trafficking, that's Esau's nature.
Right.
Human trafficking was bringing us as slaves from one continent to another. Sex trafficking is when he made us. The scripture tells in Joel, he turned a boy into a harlot. And what that boy was doing, he was giving in pleasure to an older Edomite.
Right.
That's sex trafficking. I'll say, I give you, boy said to sell the woman for one, girl for one.
Yeah, girl for one and a boy for one.
Yeah, Joel chapter 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might have drink.
That's sex trafficking. That's Esau.
That's great.
That's great. That's sex trafficking, you know?
And that,
He's known for it. He never stopped, man. He just did it.
that's another scripture for a conspiracy theory. It says, and they have cast lots.
Oh, right.
So there's multiple people, you know what I'm saying, within our plight. That's why we all over the place.
Right.
And this man's trying to control the narrative, man. All these new speak terms now, conspiracy theories, all these other new terms are just coming out of the blue now, man. Like I said though, this man has to play the old squeeze play. You know what I'm saying? What they call the baseball. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to play the old squeeze play. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact is that he has to try to demonize the truth while he's still doing wickedness, man. You know what I'm saying? How is that happening, man? You know what I'm saying? Because what we're speaking about this man doing, man, is coming to pass, man. It's coming to pass what this man is doing, man. It's not like he has to stop. It's not like he took his foot on the pedal, man. This man got his foot on the pedal, man, with a damn cinder block under it, man. Okay?
And with that human trafficking, man, another thing he's so weird. You got that movie on Netflix called Level 16. It pretty much shows, when you combine that with that woman Sarah Bullock, she had an interview with Ellen DeGeneres, asking how she keeps her skin so pure, especially for an Edomite. And she was like, pretty much what she does is a surgery called penis injections, man, right? And they take the foreskins and they put in like a syringe and they put it microneedles in her face. But pretty much that's bullshit because foreskins is dirty. Right. You're supposed to cut that off. Where they really getting it from, man, you know, just speculation, it makes sense. And they show you in this movie Level 16 where pretty much they cut the faces of little girls, right? And then they inject it into the actual woman's skin, and her skin combines with the original woman's skin to make her skin stay looking young. And tight, you know? And they show that in that movie, and pretty much who's doing it these plastic surgeons, man. Like bro said, to keep it tight because Esau is disgusting, man. You know, and his skin ages quick. And if he smokes cigarettes, he's really done, bro. So now they feel some type of way that they're only like 30, 40, but they're looking like 60.
Yep.
So they'll go and get those surgeries done, man. But the thing is, they're kidnapping young women, all right, to get it done, man.
It shows you that
Too.
yeah, that blood, yeah.
Blood goes.
It shows you that the Lord created Esau to be the witness because he feel like the Most High made errors. So when you look at him, he's created to be a degenerate, and he does everything like doing that. Why do these Edomite women have to go and try to get younger? Because they skin crack at an early age. A woman could be 28 and she look like a freaking 50-year-old, you know. And that's on you. That's the way the Lord created Edom. You look at Israel, you might see a 50-year-old northern woman, and she look like she in her damn 30s. Hips, booty, all that. You be like, damn. She's like, boy, I could be your mother. You know? You know what I'm saying? Because she looks so good. Skin over good, you know?
And we always know this, man. The lack of melanin, man, is always determining, man. You can have a West African, so-called West African girl, and she could be the darkest thing you ever see, but she'll have the smoothest skin you ever see in your life. You know, and that's that beautiful melanin, man. That we have, man. You know,
See, black don't cry.
And on the marketplace is worth more than gold.
You see
Like
that?
by gram, if you weigh it gold by gram in comparison to melanin, it's more valuable than gold.
Yo, take a look at those really dark skin women, man. Look at them, man. Their skin is flawless, man. A lot of skin is flawless, man. Especially if they're not giving into the ways of Babylon, man. You know, getting into smoking, doing drugs, and you know, all this stuff, man. They just come in here and they just eat right. How they ate back home, they come in here and eat right. Their skin is flawless, man.
Yo, what's that scripture? Seeing the all right, I was gonna say, seeing the things upside down are being esteemed as the potter's clay.
Isaiah,
Can you grab that real quick?
It's Isaiah chapter 29, verses 16. It says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay.
Like, what do you read about in magazines and everything? What the definition of real beauty is? When you look at a magazine and open it up, you see this pasty white Edomite, blue eyes, blonde hair, and that's supposed to be beauty. You know? But in the scripture, what? You have the description of the Israelites, you have the description of the Lord. These are dark skinned beauty. That's what true beauty is, man.
You watch a movie or a TV show, and then this white Edomite woman come in there, and then it's like in the show they try to put off the image like she's so sexy. I'm like, yo, she's so gorgeous. She ain't even got no ass. Like, yo, get this scene out of here, man. Fast for that shit.
Get this scene out of here.
I'm supposed to be overwhelmed.
Get this back out of here.
That shit. I mean, some of them Edomites, but the one that Esau be trying to put up here, she look around the movie like she's so gorgeous.
That bitch on table.
They'll be like in the
Slow motion.
Ain't got no chest.
Slow motion.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you something they're doing now on Madison Avenue. Madison Avenue, Fifth Avenue. They're actually, a lot of these clothes designers are actually featuring dark
Catch us from the side so you see some.
Banana Republic is doing it. You got Ralph Lauren doing it with the models. You know what I'm saying? And they're featuring a lot of these people in a couple of the eyeglass wear makers. And they're featuring dark skin models, man. Really ones that's going over to might be Hamites though. Could be Israelites, but some of them they look like Hamites though, man. But they're featuring that dark skin, man. A lot of these models.
It's dark article.
Yeah, they can't deny it though, man. Especially when you're dealing with like for instance, Banana Republic, you know, they're coming out, you know, with some of the falls coming down, so they got like a lot of earth tone colors they use, and, you know, so our skin types fit with that.
I was gonna say because Esau he did a number on us, man, in our minds. See, you really took what he wanted you to like. You really liked what he wanted you to like. And in ancient times, we wasn't exposed to this bullshit like this. There wasn't a certain stigma going on that we, you know, was like this. There was stigma going on, meaning a certain way. Everybody picked up on it, but it wasn't the way Esau's way. You know, so they might like certain shit. That's because you grew them into that because of America, because of being in this place. Man. Like we'll say, for example, when we was young, we was in school and shit. They be like, yo, you black as hell, yo, you blue. And then I remember this girl named Priscilla. She was from Africa. Her hands was all rough from the back. You knew she wasn't, I knew she wasn't black, you know what I'm saying? Like us. Just knew the difference. They ain't know the truth. But she was so black that niggas in the back of the room used to just crack on her all the day. Like, bro, Priscilla's so black. Yo, she's so black. Like niggas was, like just drying them. But really, that darkness is good, man. It's not. It's ugly because it's what they told you it was.
That's Michael Blackson, man. He said that on when he first got over here. He said that he didn't even know the difference between like darker skin. That's not even a thing in Africa. And then they said that he didn't know that until he got to America. When people was like, "Yo, you black?" He's like, "We all black." He said, "No, but you black as fuck." And then Cecil, but before that, there was none of that. And they was cracking on him.
That's a great question of the stand up, man. Because this is why you may have this. Everybody's got young daughters. You may have your 7-year-old daughter over something that you want to come and cry to you. Talking about she want to get a hair perm. You know what I'm saying? That's a stand up. They systematically in school, they systematically set these things up, man, to where they actually have them hating themselves, man. But we're the greatest people on earth, man. You know what I'm saying? And they know that, man. And we see it through the spirit that they're trying to promote the way we look, man, through their ads, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. That shit all really started with TV type shit. When TV started coming out. Because if you look, when we was in the time of being enslaved, Esau was going after our women anyway. Why? Because you liked it, you know what I'm saying? So once the TV came into play, that's when they started changing everything to, the so-called white woman is the one that look good. That shit crazy.
Barbie dolls, man.
Exactly.
Barbie, all that shit. The Barbie and Ken. It'd be.
But they made the black Barbie look like just like they do with the sun. They make a so-called black Jesus, but he got textured hair as them. They just put paint over it, but it has the same nose. It's like with them Barbies, man. It's supposed to be a black Barbie doll, but the Barbie doll look like an Edomite, but it's just black.
Right. Or the models, like you'll have a dark skin, like a Tyra Banks or whatever. She'll be dark skinned, but she'll have a Edomite figure.
That's
so it's still kind of like.
But check out how
look like that flat ass.
Back in the 90s,
long legs.
The only nation that was getting that was heavy into getting plastic surgery were Edomites. They were gonna get the big old boobs and shit. There was Edomites that had the money to go get plastic surgery, the little cuttings in their face, the little fillings in their lips, because they wanted to look like you. But today, you got Jake that took over. It's like, why is the so-called black woman and Latino woman are going out here getting fake butts when they already have butts? The Edomites want your butt, your natural butt, but you want a bigger butt. That shit crazy. But hey, quote the scripture.
It says, like in Isaiah 29:16, says, "For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not?" You dumbass atheist, man. It says, "Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding?" See, because you got people that they got a problem with the way that the Lord wants to run certain things, man. As if the Lord didn't have understanding when he made it. All right, but the Lord said, "Who gave me counsel?" When I was all by myself, man, on my own, he gave me counsel then. So that's why he's about to be destroyed out here, man. It's either the Lord's way or the highway. You like Yahawashi says. Like Yahawashi said, man, he that will now want me to reign over him, bring hither and slay them before me, man. So that's what it is, man. That's why you got to be fair to BaHaSham outside and be a good servant, do everything that he said.
Hey, so with that, hope brothers were edified. I want to give all praises to
Yahawah, BaHaSham, Yahawashi, BaHaSham, Qadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders at GreatMillStone. All right, and salutations to the brothers around the corner, before corner. Shalom.
Shout out to the corner.
Yeah, shalom.